Back now to our top story. President-Elect Trump hailed the deal he brokered with Carrier as a victory this week. Carrier Air Conditioning announcing that it would be keeping 1,000 jobs in the U.S. rather than moving them to Mexico. That's in exchange for reported tax breaks. Zach Mooney spoke with an economist about the possible results of the announcement. Zach, does the move help or hurt the economy?
Well, Jen, right now it's all hypothetical. So some argue that Carrier has basically given a blueprint to other businesses for getting a big tax break, and that could have a large impact on the Silver State, which is already luring businesses using tax breaks.
Companies are not going to leave the United States anymore without consequences.
But rather than consequences for companies, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders is worried about unintended consequences for the U.S. following this deal. In an op-ed in the Washington Post, he says, quote, Trump has endangered the jobs of workers who were previously safe in the United States because he has signaled to every corporation in America that they can threaten to offshore jobs in exchange for business-friendly tax benefits and incentives, end quote. Local economics professor Mehmet Tosun says tax breaks are a great way to start economic activity.
And that could be good, right? So because that could translate into, either keeping jobs or getting more jobs into your region.
After the recession, the Silver State started bringing in more technology, manufacturing, and distribution, growing the so-called New Nevada. A large part of that is the tax incentives offered by the state. If companies were to take Carrier's lead and ask for more tax breaks to keep jobs in the U.S., eventually something would have to give, jobs or government spending.
Okay, so we get these businesses here, or we keep these businesses here, but at the same time we are losing a lot of revenues from these tax breaks. And look, we have actually important expenditures that we are planning for.
Dr. Tosun says it varies state to state, but typically the first cuts come from education, an area the state already struggles with, or health care.
For our state, for instance, because we have a lot of elderly population in our state, cutting something like Medicaid could be difficult.
While some fear this sets a precedent, Tosun says he expects more broad policy changes with the incoming Trump administration.
And of course, you can get, maybe a bigger impact from changing the federal tax code as opposed to, giving tax breaks in a single state for a single company.
And we reached out to Governor Brian Sandoval's office for a response. He hasn't been able to comment, but we are still working on that. Covering the story live in the newsroom, Zach Mooney, Channel 2 News.
Now.